Hello, this is Jerry. I'm going to be setting up an epic base with 40 duplicants, starting with these 3 scouts. And, oh guys, did no one tell you to bring a warm coat? Did no one tell you what an absolutely bad idea that this is?
You mean no one has told you about this place and warned you of how terrible of an idea this might be?
Well, since you guys are here, we better get digging. We're going to want to at least find a warm coat for one of you, plus getting the wood heater going would be quite smart. We also want to dig out a little bit of oxylite because, well, everyone needs to breathe, right? Just need to decide who's going to get this warm coat. I think that's going to be Rock, because they're the dupe that's going to do all the digging and exploring, or most of it. We've got a hammer that's going to be on construction, lift that's going to supply a lot of the material around, and then Rock, our ability to explore this little asteroid. Just going to actually see if I can prevent lift. Just going up here to grab some wood. If you could grab wood from down there instead, it would make a lot more sense. There we go. And going to dig. How about you go and get warmed up first? Let's do a rummage here as well. And Rock, let's just send you back over here because I'm going to give this to you. Congratulations, Rock, on your new warm coat. Alright, first task complete. The next task we have is to set up a barracks and a latrine. I very much want a wood heater centered in the barracks, but I don't have the tech for that, so if we go up to the research portal, that'll unlock the ability to do that. The ladder here is being made out of wood that we were provided next to the Frosty printing pod. Eventually I will want to make stuff out of wood, or make ladders out of different material like igneous rock or granite, but right now we don't have time for that. Though I do want to preserve my wood for the wood heater and the ice liquefier. Prioritizing on getting up to this guy. Might need to change the status, telling them all not to do research. Next priority is to get over into this area so I can actually get a spot for our new wood heater. So I don't want to see everyone have to go all the way down. In fact, I'll even take this out. Actually, we don't have time for that. We'll just do a disable. Hoping lift is going up here to unlock our own wood heater. Is the case. Amazing. Schedule-wise, I'm not taking a break until the beginning of the next cycle. Actually, you can finish that little ladder, that's fine. Open up this door. And let's put in the wood heater. That's going to be a priority. Let's do that, because if you need to get warmed up, it'll be a nice place to be able to go to do that. And then if they can complete that, plus the barracks, love to see a latrine. Don't want to see any yellow snow. That'd just be gross. There it is. We've got our barracks centered with a wood heater. We still have a good amount of time. I think we're going to be able to complete this. Technically, we won't have any water in the wash basin. That's alright, as long as we have outhouses. At this point in the game, I'm going to be happy with that. Start cutting some of this out and dig a ladder going down. Instruct the dupes that this is the priority. There'll be an outhouse for each of them. Nope, printing pod needs to be cleared off. Let's make sure that's a priority. Rock saving the day. And it looks like we've got 3 outhouses. Amazing. Alright, well, I will plan our next move then. I've decided, since we're a little ahead of schedule, I'm going to actually let the dupes take a sleep a little bit earlier. Then on cycle 2, everyone wakes up to try out the outhouses. And then I'm going to make a plan for what we're doing on cycle 2.
The plan for cycle 2 is to set up a laboratory over here. I'm going to wait for the next dupe to do some research because these dupes are not the smartest. But the other goal is to start to do some exploration up, down. We're a little bit limited in the left direction because we can't go through granite yet, but that's alright. We'll see what there is to see around this little asteroid. I think we can skip ahead a little bit. Past halfway on cycle 2. And we've got our laboratory. We get a plan to explore a little bit down here as well. See some oxylite, that's going to help with oxygen. We've got a shareberry over here. We've got 2 pike apple bushes that we could start growing if we put some atmosphere in that little zone. Now that we're past this little spot, I'll put a ladder right there. And we've got a few pieces of igneous rock. We're going to want to have a bottle emptier at some point, but as long as we have oxygen, we don't have to worry about oxygen production just yet. We have reached the end of cycle 2, so the dupes are going to take a little snooze. We've made it up to this point here, and down to this point there. Oh, a little bit of a pathway over this way as well. Still no oh no, we do have a mammoth. There it is. At the start of cycle 3, I'm wondering how we're going to charge these research stations, so we decided to get a manual generator and 2 batteries together. I want to have all this ready to go before the next dupe that's going to specialize in research arrives. That is in 0.6 cycles. Lift gets on the manual generator and charges up our first battery. Oxygen might get thin down here, but luckily we found a good amount of oxylite. It should help exploring this area quite a bit. We have our next duplicant. This is Beaker joining the Frost army. They're getting the skill to use the supercomputer. First thing that they're going to research is the advanced research, so we'll get the ability to actually make the supercomputer. And we should see them immediately do some analysis. Well, maybe they've got to get warmed up first. Oh yeah, and we've got a cot available for them, so that is nice. A little bit of dirt needs to be thrown in the research stations. And then, oh, right, whoops, I guess not quite. Beaker, I need to tell you that you are one of the exceptions when it comes to research. Stop digging. There we are. Beaker to the laboratory. Let's just double check. This is a laboratory. It is. Down here, we're starting to explore a little bit down. We're going to do some digging like this and eventually get a ladder to go further down. Doing a little bit of an offset because I plan to put a nature reserve in this central area. I just want to have a door shutting that out from... Oh! Rock, you're stuck. There we go. Glad I caught that. So we have made it to the end of cycle 3. So we now have a laboratory and a dupe, Beaker, who's able to do some more advanced research. Still a little bit of exploration needed up here, as well as down here. So I will put our plans in for cycle 4, and then we'll continue on. For cycle 4, I'm getting an ice liquefier once we get the supercomputer that's going right there. So having that close to that would be very helpful. Also, digging out this area. I think this is going to be our first farming spot. Going to be growing some pike apple. Oh, and there it is. Our ability to make a supercomputer. We'll throw that right there. And what I'd like to research is fire poles, so we can add some efficiency when we're going down. I see lots of oxylite over here, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about producing oxygen for the very short future anyway. And there still is a lot of buried object to go after. So calories is pretty good, though we're eating 4,000 calories every cycle now that we've got 4 duplicants. Still consuming wood for the ladder. But once rock can dig through granite, it should be easy to replace all that. Making progress going down and opening a spot for our farm. I don't want the next dupe to not have a cot when they join. So we're getting a couple cots and barracks created over here. And further up, we're putting a ladder together. Just before we continue on, how about I tell you a little bit about the asteroid that we're on. So this is Ceres, the asteroid in the Frosty planet pack. It is both geoactive and metal rich. Hopefully that will make up for the fact that I'm going to be getting and supporting 40 duplicants on this Frost army. Frost core is probably going to be wild before we see that. Mixed boulders, actually seen first boulder from that. Game settings, I find disease, stress, and radiation a little bit too easy, so I maxed all those out along with meteor showers. Default for everything else. In case you're wondering why I'm building a Frost army of 40 duplicants, there are actually 41 different types of dupe looks. And I'm going to take all of them except for one, George here, who's in the shipping containers. So actually we might get him at some point much later on, so perhaps we'll be an army of 41. But for a large part of the time, we will have 40 duplicants once we can print them all. Back at it on cycle 5, continuing to go up and down and opening up some room areas for development. Plan to put industrial area here and water drop off spot over here. Wouldn't mind getting open access to some oxylite down there. That's just going to prevent us from having to build an electrolyzer early on. Also some oxylite up there as well. Research on the fire pole has been complete, so we're going to start installing that now. It's always an exciting moment when the first duplicant gets the ability to dig through granite. Welcome to cycle 6. Our fire pole is starting to come together. We've got some areas dug out. And we are starting to create some farm tiles to grow some pike apple. Lift's getting the ability to add 400 kilograms of capacity plus 2 strength in addition to that. Awesome. Next, we've got hammer with improved construction. Farm is nearly complete. Let's put in a little bit of pike apple. Next dupe to join is Wrangle. Eventually we're going to put them in the stables for working. We're going to also make sure this gets enabled so that when they find a cot over here, they'll not freeze in the night.
On cycle 7, starting to take advantage of Rock's new ability to dig through granite, going out in multiple different directions to look around. But we're starting over here because I would be curious to see if we can get a skill upgrade increase in this little zone. Also, we get a rock crusher going in, and I expect that's going to take a little bit more power, so another manual generator at the same time. Let's go in and explore this little new area. We've got a neurovacillator. I just have to decide who's going to get a skill upgrade. After thinking about it, well, Rock, you discovered it, so why don't you get the upgrade? Rock takes a seat. And then they're going to get... Duplicant is frankly impressive ability to hold their breath. Air consumption minus 50 grams a second. Excellent. The next priority I have for Rock is going down this direction, mostly because I want a little bit of iron ore that can go into the rock crusher. I also have dupes that are frankly depressing, so I've got to count for that fact. We're getting a great haul together over here. With picking up one Adelia seed flower, we're able to make a great haul for everyone to be able to enjoy. Rock crusher's been loaded. We'll have our first piece of metal made here. Lift using that now. On cycle 8, as we push out further and further, just making alternate paths so we can explore all around this asteroid. First bit of metal is being used for automation in the second barracks. I don't want both these guys to run at the same time, so we're going to try to make this wood heater turn off when no one is in this barracks. Looks like we found the location of George. Won't be knocking on that door anytime soon, but there it is. At some point, we are going to be running some electrolyzers. That's going to start pushing some hydrogen at the top of the base. So I figured it'd be a lot easier to go up and explore now, where we don't have hydrogen, than later. So we're going to start to make our way up. We'll get a pump up there as well, so we can take advantage of that hydrogen once that starts accumulating. It's been nearly 10 cycles, and I haven't been given any breaks, but since stress is starting to creep up just a little bit, I'm giving 3 hours of breaks on every schedule. The next dupe to join is Spark, who starts off with electrical engineering skill. On cycle 10, we just about have automation set up here. I just need a NOT gate researched. Also making progress up in this zone. I don't think we want to go any further because we need to start worrying about hydrogen. Because where is oxygen right now? Actually, oxygen is pretty good. There is lots of, in fact, there's lots of untouched oxylite. Well, maybe that's not going to be a concern. We'll see where we get on that one, but I do want to explore a little bit of progress out here. There's going to be a geyser right there. I don't know what that is yet. And wouldn't mind getting further out in this direction as well. Take advantage of the fact that this is half dug out. Every time the Frosty printing pod is ready for a new dupe, I'm going to be taking one. Right now we're at 6, but I want to be ready, so expanding the Great Hall. Also setting up another barracks. Plus the automation here for shutting off the wood heater, which is simply just opening the door when no dupes are here, is working. So that's going to allow me to save a little bit of wood. Actually, just thinking about it, I might need to move this down one. So unfortunately, how am I going to put this one there? Alright, well, I'll refactor that one after. So putting in this little fix, just that this door is not affected by this system over here. And putting the same system over here since it worked so well. Cycle 12. The oxylite must be thick on this world because we still have oxygen. Though I'm now putting in our hydrogen pump, so because I suspect we'll be turning that on pretty soon. Also, little path over here. We found some lumen quartz. Plus, if I destroy this, I get a little bit of copper as well. Lumen quartz being moved over to the Great Hall so some of the dupes can see while they eat. We've got another dupe. This is Munch. They're going to be working in the kitchen. Well, once we have a kitchen, maybe I should design that soon. Lucky sir, cycle 13. Still need to build this pump way up here, but also starting the kitchen area. Single electrical grill with a light, and we'll just tap into our electrical circuit, and that should be that. I decided to switch out the lamp for an actual wood heater. Not only will that allow Munch to be able to see, but it'll also allow them to stay warm while they're cooking, so they don't have to go all the way up to this wood heater just to get warmed up. A little bit of automation. Our wood heater turns off until we've got Munch arriving. Oh, I guess Munch isn't going to cook. Oh, hold on. Munch telling everyone not to cook. But you're actually an exception now that I think about it. Get back here, Munch. You should be cooking. There we go. At the start of cycle 14, Rock's getting the ability to dig through abyssalite. It is cycle 14, and we've got some big projects all of a sudden. First of all, power plant being put in here because we're going to make some electrolyzers, so that means we'll have hydrogen. We'll want to take advantage of that. And we are being a little bit cautious about the fact that oxylite is going to run out. It's definitely time to make some electrolyzers and an area to dump in some water to feed those guys. Checking with our pump. The pump for hydrogen is built and ready to go, so that's good news. On cycle 15, still continuing with the power plant water drop-off area. And getting a number of electrolyzers together. Oxygen is still looking good. And I still see lots of oxylite, so I suspect we'll have no problem getting this in online by the time oxylite runs out. Another dupe. This is Leafy, who's going to be working the farms. And Hammer is also getting a construction upgrade. We now have a dupe that can do some critter wrangling, so we better make a stable very soon. Well, here is cycle 17. I'm actually going to cool down the research for a little bit. We've been making lots of projects, or lots of progress on various different little things. But main focus is getting this system set up and going, which it should be very, very soon. Oxygen level is starting to get a little bit low for the first time. Not bad. But, yeah, we definitely want to get this system going. Let's open up this area, actually, at the same time. Maybe what I'll do, I'll put mesh tiling right here just to make it easy for hydrogen to fly up once all these electrolyzers are running. I'm not going to run them all at the same time. I'm just worried about circuitry overload. So what I'm going to do instead is we're only going to feed maybe the first 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. But we are going to be making some transformers, so it won't be long for that. Actually, I think it is now time to start dumping some water. Actually, nice that we've got polluted water. I'm not going to have that go in here. I'm going to make this a high priority task. I'm going to put some ladders just in case I have access over here in the future. Don't want dupes to get their feet wet. But I even have automation to be able to control whether I've got enough water in this liquid reservoir or not. What I'm trying to avoid is having water exposed to the cold elements. So what I'm going to do is just make this an escape door. And there we have it, water going into our system. Okay, not paying attention. This needs to be reversed. And maybe in the meantime, we'll stop dumping water until I get this corrected. And we'll make this the priority thing for the day. Oops, let's turn this off too. Unless these guys can build this really quickly. And what I'm also going to be concerned with is the heat from these electrolyzers. That's going to start melting everything, so I'm going to start replacing things with mesh tiles. Pouring mesh tiles just because if any snow melts, liquid's just going to fall through, which would be the preference in my mind. Alright, now we are in the water business. Make sure I turn this back on. It's very important. And there it is. We're able to produce our own oxygen before the last of the oxylite has run out. Fantastic. Okay, that takes care of the oxygen situation. The food situation, 16,000 calories. I think this could be a little bit better. Why don't we expand our farm just a bit? I'm also going to put in a fridge here just to get the dupes to be able to take pike apple over, so that they can do that in large chunks rather than have to load the electric grill slowly. Now hold on. I might actually move this whole system over a little bit because I'd actually like to put another electrolyzer right there. Should have done that earlier. Did not notice that. At the start of cycle 18, moving all the kitchen over so we can fit an electrolyzer along with the refrigerator. A little bit below that, we're making our first stable. We're going to put some flocks in there. And we are putting in a split over here to have 2 transformers. And we will split this circuitry in 2. Well, I don't know how it happened, but a phlox got stuck inside the cinnabar ore. Kind of nice they fell inside the stable, but I would have preferred if they were in this section over here actually intend to have critters, but that's alright. And let's just move you over here. Our 9th dupe, Whispers, just showed up. So I wanted someone else that can help out in the stables. So we have more than 1 dupe, so we'll eventually have Whisper be able to do that. Getting a little nervous about the number of calories, so expanding our farm. Because not only are the dupes eating pike apple skewers, but we're eventually going to have flocks that need to be eating the pike apples themselves. So we definitely need to enhance our farming ability of that. Plus I see some wild pike apple which I don't want to disrupt, but I want to try to find a way around so we can visit them. Welcome to cycle 20. This is going to be the last one for today. So we are expanding this stable of flocks. They're always getting into trouble. But yeah, our farm's being expanded. We still have to get our transformers
Still actually producing power off of this system. Speaking of which, let's check the hydrogen. Okay, that's starting to accumulate. I'm putting in automation up here, and just because I don't want oxygen to make its way into our hydrogen generator, so that'll be ready to go pretty soon. And let's see, where else have I been? We're trying to go over to explore and see some spigot seals that are way over here. Got a path over this direction. I guess we have to make that snow tile before we fully get over in that way. But there are a lot more projects to go than this. We're only just getting started. Make a little bit of a pathway so we can get over here. And maybe down in here as well. Just to visit those little pieces of pike apple. Oh, more pike apple up here. If we put a little ladder right there, that makes that accessible. Skill point. Beaker, Applied Sciences Research. Well, there we have it, the end of cycle 20. As I mentioned earlier, lots more to go. Let's just do a quick health check. Starting with oxygen, we've got electrolyzers running, so that should be looking all right. Food, 25,000 calories and expanding on the farms, so we should be looking good in that area. Temperature, I need to start worrying about tiles melting away, but we're just starting the process. That's obviously going to begin. Whoa. That's obviously going to begin around electrolyzers. We'll put in more mesh tiles and tons of other things we can do. So I would say it is pretty good from now. But if you like this series, like, subscribe. I'll make more. And hopefully I will see you another time. Thank you so much for watching. Till later. This is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included.